We know the net effect of the 2010 elections were very simple. It was a continuation of this polarization that we've seen in Washington over the last few election cycles. And what I mean by that is that Republicans have become more entrenched in their positions, Democrats have become more entrenched in their positions. And what that tells us is that neither party is able to wholesale push their agenda through without one thing. And that one thing is consensus. And believe it or not, we are actually seeing consensus in Washington, and it seems to be centering around the budget deficit. So as a course of history, let's take a look at the federal budget deficit to make sure we're starting from the same page. In 2008, the federal budget deficit was $455 billion. Now that was the highest in dollar terms in U.S. history. But just 1 year later, it swelled to $1.4 trillion. Now it came down a little bit in 2010. That was primarily due to higher than anticipated TARP repayments, as well as higher than anticipated capital gains. But we know the bipartisan agreed upon budget deficit for 2011 was a staggering $1.6 trillion. Now the good news is, as you can see by these numbers, they've been updated by the CBO, we came in under budget. We're coming in at $1.3 trillion in budget deficit for 2011. The bad news is, though, we seem to be stuck in this perpetually high federal deficit environment. And when I present this information to economically aware audiences such as yourself, the feedback that I often get is, Jeff, you just don't understand the economy. It's absolutely normal to build up deficits during a recessionary cycle, but as the economy recovers, incomes will rise, therefore tax revenues rise, and we just work our way out of it. That would be a normal recovery cycle, right? Unfortunately, the President's own bipartisan deficit reduction panel saw it a little bit differently. What they said is that our nation's on an unsustainable fiscal path, and even after the economy recovers, federal spending is projected to increase faster than revenues. Now, this quote may surprise you. It may surprise you because it says we can never catch up. And the reason we can never catch up is there's been an accelerant added into the U.S. economy. And the accelerant is the changing demographics within the United States, the aging of the U.S. population.